Located 600 miles west off the coast of Ecuador, the Galapagos Islands is home to unique creatures found nowhere else on the planet. A volcanic group of islands emerged from the ocean floor to form one of the most pristine places on Earth. Untouched by mankind for centuries, the Galapagos offers us a brief glimpse into evolutionary forces that continue to shape our understanding of the world around us. This is the land that influenced the greatest naturalist, Charles Darwin, for the famous Origin of Species. In 1835, Darwin, a young 22-year-old man, came to visit this enchanted archipelago. It was here that led him to his theory of evolution, which would radically change the world forever. Isolated from the mainland for millions of years, the wildlife found here have evolved into unique and fearless creatures. They continue to roam these dry and barren landscapes, just as their ancestors did.
These islands are one of those rare places that you see it as if it's the day after creation. The wildlife is abundant, the landscape is pristine, and so what's so beautiful is that it is, in fact, gets better and better. It truly is one of those rare places on the planet where you can journey to see what it must have been like thousands of years ago, 1 million years ago, in terms of flora and fauna on the planet.
These islands are located 600 miles off South America. That means that everything that nowadays is found in the Galapagos came from a different place. It either came flying, wind, swimming, or floating on rafts of vegetation.
As the islands formed like this out of fire, there was obviously no animals, no plants living here. They arrived to islands that were really, really barren. Most of them never made it, and the ones that made it, they had to adapt to very, very strange, difficult conditions. In generation after generation, moving away from the original kind, eventually they became species that are new in our world. That is the origin of new species by means of natural selection. And those species like the iguanas and the cormorants and the sea lions we call endemic, unique to a place. In this case, endemic to the Galapagos Islands. One of the most fascinating and striking characteristics of the wildlife in the Galapagos is how approachable they are. It is difficult to explain in words. It's fascinating. I've been here for so many years. I'm still in love to see animals like that, so close. They don't show fear.
in books, people say that they are tame, but that's not right because they were never domesticated. So the explanation that I found the best is that animals in Galapagos are ecologically naive, meaning that the ecological conditions where they live push them to be like they are.
Until you've experienced it, it is really strange for man to be in an environment where he's neither prey nor predator. You can get as close as you want to mammal life, marine life, and they simply deal with you as if you're a passive part of their environment. It's an experience like no other.
Islands have been important to ecologists and evolutionary biologists for centuries. They've told us so much about how the diversity of life forms and is maintained. Yet around the world, virtually every major island system has been tremendously harmed by people. One remaining exception is the Galapagos Islands, which are amazingly intact relative to any other island system in the world. Islands are some of the most amazing laboratories for the study of evolution and ecology on the planet. They are filled with species that occur nowhere else on Earth, and no place has featured as importantly in the study of evolution as the Galapagos Islands.
One of the biggest importances to protect this archipelago, as this is one of the last relics in our planet of an isolated archipelago. This is like a miracle that this place is still in such great conditions, and we have to work for it.
What does it mean to be human? The Galapagos Islands gives us the opportunity to wake up our senses to the natural world. It's one of the few places on this planet where you can get really close into nature. The biological forces that make us who we are shared by a common thread with the wildlife of the Galapagos. The creatures found on this enchanted archipelago continue to remind us of our own evolutionary past. They enlighten us to the similarities that we all share. We eat, we play, we care for our young. We are born into this world, and then we die. And this is the cycle that continues within all of nature.